So we finished Superman Season 1. We also hit 1,000 subscribers, and something kind of cool happened 20 years ago today. We're talking all about this and more right now. Hello friends, welcome back to the show. So glad to see all 1,000 of you here once again. And if you're new here, thank you for tuning in. This is the show where we talk about old cartoons that well, not old, but cartoons that we grew up on when we were children and dissect them and discuss them here. And we just finished Superman Season 1 and we got some exciting things that are coming up. And we have a bit to celebrate today as we hit 1,000 subscribers. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell notification so you're sure to be notified when new videos come out. I release videos every Tuesday and Thursday, and I've got some additional content that'll be released in different days coming up. So be sure to subscribe.
It will be LexCorp that reaps the benefits.
So first things first, this episode was originally scheduled to just be talking about recapping Superman Season 1 as we just finished that on Tuesday. But something really exciting happened in the meantime, and I want to take some time to talk about that as well. And that is that just the other day, we hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel. That's not a big deal to some of these huge channels, but it's a big deal to me. And it was pretty exciting to see. It's a milestone that I've had targeted for a while and been looking forward to. And I deliberately say we because this is truly something that we did together. Because obviously I put the videos together and send them out into the world, but it's all of you that watch the videos and interact with them and like it and comment on it and share it and watch back episodes and all of that that helps YouTube know, hey, this content is something that people are enjoying and engaging with, so let me show it to a new group of people, and those new group of people, we get a few more subscribers, and that's how it really grows. And really, just for enjoying this content, thank you. And thank you for subscribing, and thank you for staying subscribed. And if you're one of our new subscribers, welcome to the party. And so for all of that, truly, I thank you, because 1,000 subscribers, yes, is just a number. It's a very cool milestone. It was very exciting to see. I was watching the progress of the channel over the last couple of weeks and getting close and getting closer and getting closer. And so it felt really good to see that tick over to 1,000 subscribers. And really, it's just a signal to me that I'm doing something well, that I am connecting with other people out there. What started out as just an excuse to go back and rewatch Batman the Animated Series, a cartoon that I grew up on and loved as a child, quickly has become a way of connecting with a whole group of people that share these same thoughts and share these same ideas. I'm consistently amazed at how many people keep coming to this channel and enjoying the content. So as I've said from the beginning, as long as you guys are still enjoying this content and like what I'm doing, I'm going to keep making it because I love making these videos. It's a great little hobby. It's a great way of connecting with people and having a little creative outlet. And sometimes in my busy life, it's the one thing that gets me to slow down and forces me to sit down and just watch some cartoons and have a purpose behind that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of this channel. And also, there's been several of you out there that have been watching this and have been watching how close that I've been getting to 1,000 subscribers and have been sharing in the excitement of seeing that hit 1,000. And I thank you for that. That's been even more fun to have that interaction with you as well. And some of you had been asking me what I was going to do in celebration of hitting 1,000 subscribers. And I honestly hadn't given that idea a lot of thought of doing something special for hitting that milestone. But one of our subscribers, JT is Reborn, had a great suggestion. And that was the idea of doing a live stream once we hit 1,000 subscribers. Hadn't given that any thought prior to that and thought, that's a great idea. So JT is Reborn, you've got your wish. I'm going to be doing my first YouTube live stream in celebration of hitting 1,000 subscribers this Saturday, October 13th at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So mark your calendars. I'll probably put out another little reminder that that's coming out, and join us. So it won't be anything too fancy or too extravagant, but just a way of us hanging out and having a little conversation and giving me an opportunity to answer any questions that you might have, or we can talk about things to do on the channel in the future and things that we've done in the past on the channel. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a special guest or two. If you can join us then, I'd love to see you. I tried to pick a time that would be sort of in the middle to kind of hit different time zones and different be able to get as many people on there as possible. If you can't join me at that time, it's okay. It'll still be up later, so you can be able to watch it back at your convenience. And if it goes well and it's something that people enjoy seeing, maybe we'll do it on a regular basis. Who knows? Sky's the limit now.
Looks like a flying guy.
So as I mentioned, this video was originally just to be about the end of Superman Season 1. But when I looked at the calendar and noticed that today is October 11th, something else kind of cool happened on this day 20 years ago. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But I want to make sure that I do spend some time talking about what the meat of this episode was supposed to be about. And that is the end of Season 1. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been reviewing each and every episode of Superman, the animated series. And I decided to do that route just as a little shifting of gears to step away from Batman a little bit, but also kind of still going in the theme of reviewing each episode in their original airing order. And between the original Batman the Animated Series and the new Batman Adventures, we had the beginning of Superman the Animated Series. So I thought I'd jump into that. So the first season was like 13 episodes. I did it in 10 because of the 2-parters and 3-parters. As I was watching back these episodes, I was realizing that there was many of the episodes that just bits and pieces of them were familiar to me. I can't say that there was any of these episodes that I remembered all the way through. And I think a lot of that had to do with that I was such a huge fan of Batman the Animated Series that I was just disappointed that that was gone and wasn't giving Superman its due credit. So a lot of these episodes were like watching them for the first time. And we've talked about it before, but it's very obvious that Superman the Animated Series in the first season was still trying to find their footing. There was a lot of origin stories. There was a lot of elements that needed to be established to kind of propel the series into the future. One of our subscribers down below, Joshua Knode, whoever that is, had mentioned how the first season was a little clunky, a little trying to find their footing and trying to find their style and their way. And then it really didn't hit its stride until its second season. And I think he's right on. By the way, that is my brother, in case you were wondering. But I didn't tell him to say that. But he's right on. It's very obvious that this first season was a bit of trying to find its own identity, trying to establish the Superman world and mythos and finding its own style. And then the second season is really where they get into the meatier episodes, which I was sort of expecting going into it just in the research that I did, that when you look at a lot of people's top 10 lists or best episodes of Superman the Animated Series, many of them do not include any of these episodes from the first season.
Get out.
What's interesting is when I started watching the first season, the very thing that was a little off for me was that it was so different than Batman the Animated Series, missing the elements of Batman the Animated Series that I enjoy, that darker, grittier, film noir, taking place at night, mystery kind of elements to the episodes. And then as I got into the series, I realized that I really needed to put that away, in the sense that the very fact that this is its own style and it is its own design is what makes it strong. As much as I miss Batman the Animated Series, I would not want this to just be a repeat of those episodes, or have Superman take place in a metropolis that feels and acts very, very much like Gotham. I think that's the strength of the heroes, is that they are very different. Even, and we talked about it at the beginning, that even Superman's personality compared to Batman is so dynamically different that that's what makes the character strong. So my very complaint that I started this season with, I think is what I grown to love as we got into it. And finding the episodes that and styles that I really did gravitate to, not because, oh, those are more like Batman episodes.
Once he gets to Earth, he'll be safe.
And as much as I'm not a fan of the origin stories, I have to admit they were sort of necessary. I think that I would have been missing something if they would have just jumped into Metallo or Parasite or even Brainiac, because I didn't know where they came from, or I didn't know the personalities of those characters.
Please excuse me while I deal with this transaction.
And also what's interesting about this season is how different each of the episodes are. Again, I think that is proof that the writers and the producers were trying to find their footing and trying to find the best way, the best style of episodes, what connects best. Because you look at episodes like The Main Man and compare it to My Girl, and you go, these are totally different types of episodes. I mean, just very different stylistically, genre, story-wise, action. Everything is just so different.
I gotta say, I am impressed.
You know, so that gives something different for everybody to gravitate to. Whereas you look at Batman the Animated Series and a lot of people's top 10 lists or favorite episodes, and certainly mine, most of them are from that first season. So it's almost as though they knew exactly how they wanted to jump into Batman, and they got their best episodes right up front, and then they sort of trailed off, not became bad episodes, but just not as strong of episodes later in the seasons, with the exception of a few here and there. And Superman, I feel like it's the exact opposite. And I don't know if the order for a first season of Superman came quick and they were turning out episodes a lot quicker, and Batman, they had more time to think about it, or there was more pressure to make this work because this was setting the tone of the DC animated world in general, or what the case is. But they're good episodes, but I'm looking forward to the following seasons that'll be, from what I can tell, even better.
What are you saying?
So as I mentioned, today is October 11th, and this is an anniversary, a personal anniversary of mine. That is, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but behind me here, there is this shadow box of things and this clapper on top. And that is from a movie that I made in high school. My friends and I wrote a script, spent a summer shooting this movie and editing it, and it was called Middle-Aged Radioactive Swiss Cheese People Extravaganza, or MARCP for short. It was about a group of friends that develop these really stupid, useless superpowers and go out and try to form a superhero group and fight crime. And if that to you sounds familiar and sounds like Mystery Men, you're not wrong. It is very similar to Mystery Men. However, our movie came out first, so we didn't copy them, they copied us. As 15-year-olds, we spent the summer of 1998 shooting and editing that movie, and it premiered on October 11th, 1998, 20 years ago today, which is just another weird, like hard to believe thing. And when I look back at that as 15-year-olds, it was the movie was about 40 minutes long. Quite an accomplishment for a bunch of 15-year-olds to put something like that together. So we had made little videos and things, little 1-2 minute videos and sketches and things that we'd make on the weekends, and we got it in our mind to make a full-length movie, and we did it from writing it to start to finish, which today I don't think I realized at the time how amazing that was to pull that off, especially in that time period. Not to go back too far, but that was all VHS camcorders and work lights and building sets in my basement and microphones plugged into tape deck recorders on karaoke machines, and editing it with a stack of VCRs, running cables to all of them and editing on the fly. And we actually filmed monitors running titles and things like that. So it isn't like today, boys and girls, where you can just put all the footage into a computer and edit it and do whatever you want and it spits it out. Like it was quite involved, the process of doing that. So to look back and think that we were able to accomplish that is a pretty big deal. And little did I know then that I would be hitting 1,000 subscribers 20 years later on YouTube. You know, and I've often thought if YouTube was around when I was in high school, we were making these videos without a YouTube-like platform and just getting people together and showing them on TV and playing them in class and things like that. The movie still exists. In fact, in this case is a VHS copy of the movie. At some point, I need to transfer that all onto the computer, and maybe I'll do a video in the future looking back at that movie and some of the details of how we made that. But I didn't want the anniversary to go by without at least mentioning that 20 years ago, I made my first movie. Whew, now I feel old. This has been kind of a big week, finishing Superman, hitting 1,000 subscribers, and celebrating the 20th anniversary of Mars CP. Once again, thank you all for watching. Again, be sure to tune in this Saturday to see my first ever live stream and hang out with me for a little bit and talk about the channel and cartoons and coffee and comic books or whatever you want to talk about. So if you're new here and you like what you're seeing, be sure to hit subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit like. Keep an eye out next week as we start the first season of the new Batman adventures. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Andy Knode. I'll see you soon.